in a biz, hey. Pull up on chicks out of 10, hey. Parties on weekends I'm bent, hey. All of this money is spent, hey. Throwing a lot of events, hey.
What's up guys, Matt from the Football Boots team, and today is all about the Nike Magista Opus 2. Now for all of you guys out there who know your football boots, will know that when this boot was originally released, it was very right down the bottom of the pecking order because that exposed dimple upper was really quite poor. But what Nike have done since, they heard all our problems with it, they went back to the drawing board to modify the upper to what we see today, just like on this Time to Shine pack, which Lovell Soccer have sent us to test and review. And if you are interested in getting a pair for yourself, then all the links are in the description below. But let's take to the pitch and test these out to see just how good the boot has become. So when I first took these out of the box, I was straight away much more happy with how they felt compared to the original Opus 2. But I've been wearing them for about an hour now just to take some shots, move around a little bit and touch the ball, and you can see that that Kanga-like material has become even more soft, which is a great thing. Nike obviously knew that the Opus 2 upper wasn't good enough. Iniesta wasn't wearing the original one. He was wearing his camouflage version, which is much more similar to this one. So overall, the new Magista Opus 2 with the upgrade is such a better boot all round. So let's just take a real close-up look at that Kanga-like material itself, and hopefully you guys can see that rippling effect. Now that ripple is what you'll most likely see on a pair of very high quality leather football boots. So for it to be on this synthetic pair, on this Kanga-like Magista Opus 2, just goes to show how high quality it really is now. So if you are looking to get the Magista Opus 2, then a really good thing about the boots is that they're quite wide fitting. So if you are someone like Blake in the Black and Orange team, then you can easily fit into these. I know there are some problems with the Mercurial Silo by Nike being too narrow fitting, but these definitely can cater for wider foot types. And also the sizing is very true. UK 10.5 on my feet, and they are absolutely perfect. So if you are interested, then definitely go true to size, and don't worry if you do have wide feet, these are still going to be very comfortable for you. So something which I really like and look for is a padded heel, and on the Opus 2 that's exactly what Nike offer you, but it also gives you some nice lockdown as well. So I'm not a big fan of the collar. I feel like there is some rollover, so these low-cut Opus 2, they feel nice and padded from that heel lining, but also nice and locked down. So one thing I think is missing on the Opus 2 is a grippy upper. The bare Kanga-like is definitely soft and flexible, but one thing it isn't, and that's grippy. Obviously I like the Hyper Venom, but any Nike boot with a Nike Skin upper just feels so much more grippy to touch. When you strike the ball, I want it to feel like it's really giving me some purchase, and the bare Kanga-like on the Opus 2 just feels a little bit too smooth. So although the up has changed, one thing that has stayed the same is that hybrid tongue on the Opus 2. Now I'm actually a really big fan of the hybrid tongue. I like it on my Hyper Venoms, and obviously I hope it is here to stay. But one thing that we're actually seeing from Nike is that they're actually starting to use that Flyknit material a lot more. So maybe in the future, in the next generation of the Magista Opus 3 might actually have a Flyknit tongue. So taking a close look at the tongue itself, and hopefully you guys can see underneath the ACC branding, we've got that memory foam pad, and trust me, when you do have these laced up, you can feel it in a very good way. It just gives you such a much more cushion feel when you strike the ball with power, and it just feels a little bit like memory foam, very similar to the feeling you get actually on the upper itself. As you guys can see by looking at the top of the hybrid tongue, the Opus 2 comes with ACC all conditions control, which is very similar to Adidas's NSG, which the brand say gives you a bit of extra grip in wet conditions. I personally don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. It's very questionable, but if you do believe in it, it is on the Opus 2. So we've already mentioned about how the upper change has made the Opus 2 much more soft and flexible. But one thing we haven't mentioned yet is when you're actually laced up in the boot internally, there's a mesh-like material, and it just makes your foot feel like it's wrapped up in memory foam. So a main positive for me on the Magista Opus 2 is the sole plate. It is so flexible and comfortable, it's very, very nice to play in. Is it the most responsive and performance enhancing? Not really, but in terms of underfoot cushioning and how it feels in terms of comfort, it is so high. So taking a close look at that stud configuration, and as you guys can see, we've got a bit of a combination going on. We've got those half conical shaped studs all across the sole plate, but also at that forefoot region, we've got those bladed shaped studs which offer directional traction in a 360-degree motion, which is obviously brilliant for those players that need to swivel nice and quick. So the Time to Shine pack by Nike, all about navy blue, a bit of orange, a bit of volt and some silver thrown in as well. Am I a fan? Well, not really. I don't think it's my favorite Nike pack of this season, but one thing I do love about this collection, the Time to Shine pack, is on the Nike swooshes, we can just see that star detailing, and it's also on the sock liner, and I think this just gives it such a classy touch. I love it, and I hope it's actually here to stay, and we'll see it on some more future releases. So if I were to pick my absolute 3 favourite things about the Opus 2, hands down the first one, the big one, is the comfort straight out of the box. Trust me, there's pretty much no breaking time whatsoever. It really is that exceptional. Secondly, I think they feel really lightweight but without feeling cheap, which is a massive plus. And also that sole plate and stud configuration just gives you some more comfort underfoot. So overall, I think the Opus 2 is a bit of a smash of a boot now. So after all that, what are my personal thoughts on the Nike Magista Opus 2 in the Time to Shine pack? Well, in respect to the new upper, it's the first time that I've actually tested it out, and it was such a nice surprise. I was hoping it would be such an improvement, and it really is. And I believe that Ian in the black and orange team is actually going to have these for himself. So overall, I think the Opus 2 were actually a smash of a football boot. They started the season not so great, but towards the end, they did come good. So big thumbs up to Nike for that, and a massive thank you to Level Soccer as well for sending us these to test and review them for you guys. But that pretty much wraps up the video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Cheers.